What's up, guys? So in this video, we're gonna spread the tea, spill the tea about Liv Romano, the vegan Malthusian charlatan who is also a Fed. So let's go.
So then we were like, oh my God, why wouldn't we invite her?
We knew her from RBN.
Right, exactly. That's all we knew.
So this is the Bank sisters addressing Liv using mutual aid to scam people and to pay her own bills instead of using it for a schoolie or using it to build a school in Africa or whatever else she was trying to do. Also the fact that Liv went to the protest. So this is how Liv gained notoriety originally. She went to a protest in DC. So this is who Liv Romano is. She went to a protest in DC against, and she, notice how she's wearing the End the Damn War shirt? That figures into the story because she was acting like a Fed, okay? She was she tried to propose some kind of insurrection type of talk to end the damn wars, which is the organization she is wearing the shirt of. And they distanced themselves from her. Then she showed up in DC with the baseball bat, apparently bit a cop. She apparently bit a cop. And she was swinging around a baseball bat. Typical, like, this is Fed behavior. She's trying to get, she's trying to compromise these native activists at the climate protest, by wearing an End the Damn War shirt and bringing a baseball bat and biting a cop. That's what she's trying to do. Like, and her dad works for the NSA, her mom works for the Pentagon. So you know she's a Fed. That's her. After she bit the cop, they put a covering on her head. That's her getting arrested after she bit the cop. Oh, and I don't like the cops, so that's a disclaimer. But I think I don't like Feds either, you know? And that's the baseball bat. Notice how it has a New York Yankees logo on it, and Liv Romano was born in Massachusetts. I think that's kind of ironic. So, let's see what the Bank sisters have to say.
We know that Liv did a live stream where she tried to talk about, I guess, her truth. She was recently on Ron Falcone's podcast, and us and our fellow organizers found it pretty disturbing, honestly. And if you listen to the podcast, it's pretty clear that Liv is not. She was not involved with the people who were actually the indigenous people who were actually protesting in DC, and she got arrested on her own, doing her own thing. And I will tell you a few other things that she's done that, honestly, this is a public good. And I am nervous to talk about this. And other people who have contacted me about her have been nervous to talk about her.
Yeah, true. That's true, yeah.
But us as an organizing group have talked about, like, tactics, and we've said, you know, we're going to ignore her.
Yeah, that was our plan. We really just thought, like, you know what, she's looking for attention, and let's not give it to her. And it's not worth our time and effort because we're working on a lot of other things. So, yeah, I mean, I just feel like this came out of, like, our concern is more that, this is what we're saying, it's for the greater good, is because a lot of people have come to, you mostly, but, you know, a lot of people heard her name and reached out and said, let me tell you my story with this person. And this is not the first time this happened to us. This has happened to us with, you know, a guy who tried to scam us in LA, like another person. Like, this has happened to us before.
It sucks to be in this position, but it helps people. When we talked about the person who scammed us in LA, like 4 or 5 other people contacted us after that. And so we really wanted to kind of hopefully be able to, I mean, personally, we didn't want to ignore it. We were going to do a video about it because because the problem is so many people contacted me from behind the scenes, and
you saw it first.
And now a lot of harm has happened.
Right. Well, and I think too, like, the thing is, like, now it's getting to the point where the more we get
My internet's slow, guys. But this is who Liv Romano is, and I made a video about her for promoting racist Malthusian talking points.
In this, like, you know, little leftist sphere. I mean, I'm starting to notice that we're dealing with a lot of the same people, and I don't want these people to be scammed.
Why is the screen so the?
I really don't.
I'm gonna pause it. But this is who Liv Romano is. She looks kind of unhinged. Let's go to the comments while this is like buffering. Of course, the comments will take a little bit to load too. So, yeah, so this is the type of shit, the type of environment that Liv fosters on her live streams. I might have to, let's see, start this up again. Yeah, let's start this up again, because, let's see. Where is, it's okay, we'll address it. That's the one.
Outsiders to this, so it seems like we have to be the ones to talk about it. I don't know, because it's a...
I feel like
Why are they, I hate advertisements.
people here work hard to make sure that our...
It's annoying, but it is what it is.
So, I don't know exactly where we were, but the thing with, so we're talking about Liv Romano, and we're talking about how, I thought Liv was a part of the group.
Is that the one? No, that's... Yeah, that one's buffering. Let's just jump on over to this one.
The protest No, so Liv wasn't a part of any groups. She just went to the protest on her own accord and brought it back. And so what we're saying is, if you do choose to do that, which is what the indigenous people at the protest said not to do, if you choose to do that, people might feel unsafe
For a certain period of time, until you prove yourself again, or...
I'll show you the photos. This is the bat she brought. This is Liv after she was arrested, after she bit a cop. That's Liv after she was arrested. That's Liv as she was arrested after she bit the cop.
Until it passes, or until whatever.
And this has nothing to do about anybody's sex work at all. I can't even believe we've been sugar babies. I've tried to sell my feet on the internet.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Liv was tricking. Like, I didn't even know that, yo. Like, I had no idea Liv was tricking, so... There you go. Makes sense, though. Makes sense.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna talk to us about judging people for sex work?
Yeah.
Come on, there's nothing to do with it. And it's not about getting arrested. She also made a lie on the internet that this was about us judging her about getting arrested. I've been arrested. I've peed in a cop car. There's nothing to do with it. Afeni's been arrested. All kinds of people have been arrested. There's nothing to do with it. It's about the fact that you took it, what you had thought, you just didn't care about what anybody else's comfortability was. You decided you should bring it back. Do you know how that puts other people in danger who look like us?
Right.
Liv is a white girl. She doesn't care. It's just how little forethought went into that. And then we are organizers who are black, letting her down easy, by the way. We had a discussion. They told me should I tell her about her shady mutual aid stuff? Because you guys have to understand, this is a grassroots organization,
right,
trying to go camping. We are asking for $13,000.
Yeah.
Why? You can look at a detailed budget. We are very transparent. There are people who have never gone camping before. We're getting tents. It's in a state park. You have to pay for each thing. We have to do shuttles because it's in a rich area.
We put a lot of thought into this. And you can look at the budget and you can see everything is legit. And we're doing the camp either way. Even if we don't raise $13,000, we'll figure out a way to do it. Because only beans, I guess. I don't know.
Because of this too, though. And please know this. Liv is a very privileged person, and so are we. So I don't want to hear any bullshit about this is just nonsense. Our parents, you know what we begged our parents to do? We would do some extra tourism. We are two grown adults who share a 15-year-old Jeep. Okay, somebody called us drifters the other day, so I just we share a 15-year-old Jeep. We live in our parents' house, and we're doing extra chores so they can help us buy merch, so we can help get donations for the camp.
Right.
And hi, Dad.
Dad's back down there.
Okay, he'll come up when he's ready. Okay, well, this is important. This is for justice. I don't know what else to tell you.
Anyways,
but it's just we're asking our parents every little bit of money or little extra thing we're putting towards this. We don't have jobs, okay? Because our parents are nice enough to not make us pay rent, so we don't have jobs because we're putting all of our time and energy into doing the camp and into doing our videos and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not asking for GoFundMes for ourselves. We're not asking it's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. Okay, so let's get back to this. So we tell Liv, we were trying to let Liv down gently because I was like, what should I tell her?
We talked about it.
We all talked about it.
We talked about it at length. Because we did not. Okay, look. Again, let's not even start with the mental illness oppression off here.
Okay, because we all got it.
We will win that. There's no question. I've had many nervous breakdowns. I've had a seizure. I've had to lose many jobs. No problem.
Lost psychiatrist because your Medicaid changes.
Exactly. I would have known that I had ADHD.
Please.
Bipolar 2 maybe 20 years ago.
Please. We're only saying this because please will you guys understand when you're watching her live. Go watch her live stream and go watch what we were talking about with Savage Joy. Okay?
Right.
One is about substance and about actually wanting progress. And one is throwing in all these random details, erroneous details about a dog living here and I had to live with a roommate. So what do you live with a roommate? Is that a struggle?
Are you kidding me?
I live with 3 roommates.
I went from living in a beautiful, fabulous apartment all by myself and living my best fucking life to losing my job and having to have a roommate. So let's just calm down.
I've always had roommates. I've always had a person living in my living room. So is that supposed to be a struggle? This girl doesn't want to get a job, and that's the truth.
Well, I think that's the hard...
Okay, this person is having a good time. They're drunk, and I appreciate that.
Cheers. We do appreciate that because it is rather late.
Cheers.
But
with Fundrise, the same kind of real estate investments that have powered the world's strongest portfolios for decades.
I just think for me, a really big part of this is that the way she misuses mutual aid in such a small group of people, even worse if it goes outside of this group of people. I just feel like you just can't mute. You are not. If our parents, for instance, were to tell us tomorrow, you guys have to get out, I still would not consider us unhoused.
No.
Because we have friends, we have boyfriends, we have
cousins,
we have anything.
We could sleep in our car.
We could sleep in the Jeep at the very least.
It would take me a while until I said it would
take a year.
It was not that long, but it would take me a while.
It would take a while.
She was obviously going to her boyfriend's house, which, yes, I will say this is just a conjecture. This is just a theory. I'm not sure, but because I'm pretty sure that guy she claims to do mutual aid with is her boyfriend, but she says partner because I feel like she wants to appear closer to the LGBT community. You know what I'm just saying, can we notice a grift when we see a grift?
That's a good point. she stays with her boyfriend in New Jersey when she does mutual aid with him, and she's saying partner because she wants to be close to the LGBT. I agree.
Because we're getting grifted. And this is the thing. She's trying to put discredit on us trying to take people camping so we can build actual bonds. This has nothing to do with the money we're talking about. I just think but she's trying to do that, and then she's saying partner when she's going to New Jersey to see her boyfriend.
Right.
And they're doing mutual aid.
That's a very...
They're probably scamming people. She's probably scamming people in New Jersey when she's going to New Jersey. Because Liv Romano is shady.
We want to think, of course, but...
This is the scams of a grifter.
You have to pay attention to the details. And I think...
And if you see in the comments, Reefer After Dark says, what was the shady mutual aid? Exactly, something about a trip to Africa. I remember, but I don't remember the details. So I think Liv was trying to make a school, build a school in Africa, and then decided not to. She was raising money for that on a GoFundMe. And then after she decided not to, she didn't take the GoFundMe down. So it's still up there in on the internet for you guys to see. So back to them.
I mean, I just think you can't, like as we said,
There's more. Hold on.
There's plenty more. But
Let's get back.
But if you don't call mutual aid getting your bills paid unless you are actually homeless,
Disabled. Got into an accident,
have
freak
children,
accident, have kids, you're on the street.
like
You need a hotel for the night. That's mutual aid. Not this. This says, comrades, please help. Thanks, y'all. We were able to buy Susan a bunch. No, not that one. God damn it.
Sorry.
Ugh, I have so many saved because this girl's up in.
Yeah, if you have a roof over your head, if you're not sleeping on a street corner or in a back alley, you're not homeless. If you're not disabled, if you're not sleeping in or if you're not sleeping on a street corner or a back alley, you're not homeless. Like, I see legit homeless people every single day, you know. I see people sleeping on the street corner, people sleeping in back alleys, you know what I mean, every single day. They're homeless. Liv Romano is not homeless. She can go to her boyfriend's house. I'm sure she has friends that would take her in and all that type of stuff. You know, she's not homeless, but she's doing the grift. She's a grifter.
That's crazy. Okay, here it is. Okay, my 3 fur babies and I need help to secure. No, this is permanent housing. God, Jesus Christ, you asked for so much.
$150.
It was like today. Literally today, she said.
Today she
I'm
said,
trying to. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. There's too many to keep track of. Please help and boost. So far, we've raised $115 out of $500 to help cover some bills and necessities for my 3 fur babies and I for 1 month. Who can be the first to donate today? You can also support by subscribing to and or buying content from my Fansly and to my blah 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 blah. Listen, my boyfriend is a veteran on disability on a fixed income. Like, this is a person who can work.
Exactly. Liv is able-bodied. She can work. You know? And why would she want... She's grifting people to pay for her animals, for her dog and her 2 cats. Like, you know? She wants people to pay for her dog and her 2 cats. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying for anybody's dog. Except to take their dog to the freaking dog pound. I would pay for that. I would pay to put a dog in the dog pound, but, you know, I'm not paying for Liv Romano's dog and cats or whatever. She calls them fur babies. Like, that's like a rich kid, like, she might be Southern European, but she got a Northern European mentality. You know, calling her pets fur babies, like, really? You know, and wanting us to pay for her animals, like, she wants us to pay for her animals. That's not happening. I'm not paying for her animals. I'll pay to put the dog in the dog pound, but I won't pay for to feed her animals.
And asking people to pay her bills. This is not mutual aid.
But also, you have a Fansly. You ask your...
And she has a Fansly, too. She's tricking. She's tricking. Like, how twisted is Liv Romano's mind? She's tricking online. Like, she's tricking to make money online. And then she asks for money on like a GoFundMe or whatever, on a Cash App or whatever, for her bills, to pay for her dog and her cats. Like, what is this, yo? Like, she's scheming on people. She's scheming on people. Liv Romano's scheming on people.
You ask your sugar daddy to pay your bills.
This
You
is not
don't
mutual.
ask your comrades to pay your bills unless you are seriously in need of mutual aid. And I just
That would be
the way
different.
she throws around the word mutual aid
And
and
unhoused.
unhoused is insane. It is honestly, and look, and I don't say that.
I agree. This is absurd. The fact that she has a place to stay, she can stay with her boyfriend, she has an RV to stay in, but she's still claiming that she's homeless. She's not sleeping on a street corner, on a park bench, or in a back alley. She's fundraising to pay her bills when she can go get a job and you know, pay for her to feed and care for her dog and cats when she can go get a job. Like, that shit's absurd. And yeah, it's absurd, you know. Like, I think it's just ridiculous when people do GoFundMes for their dogs. Cats I'm more sympathetic to, but when people do GoFundMes for their pet dogs, I think that shit's just absurd. Like, I'll do a GoFundMe to put the dog in a dog pound, but I won't do a GoFundMe for your dog's care, feeding, or whatever. You know, there you go.
Lightly, because I you know, it's terrible. Honestly, it's scary because I feel like
This is some white girl bullshit. Like she gets to over.
She got the white girl mentality, the Northern European kind of mentality, plus she got the rich kid mentality. She got the rich kid mentality. Rich suburbanite mentality. You know what I mean? She got the rich suburbanite mentality, you know? She got more of a... I think it's because when you enter the Anglosphere, you get brainwashed. You know, if you're Southern European, you enter the Anglosphere, you get brainwashed. That's what Liv Romano has. She has like a rich kid mentality, and, you know, she's been brainwashed by the Anglosphere, you know what I mean? And she's a Fed, too.
Or take somebody's actual real life struggle,
right.
and
Like,
we're all supposed to be polite and kind and all this.
And that's how it's gotten
No.
this
We've
far.
done this. No. And this is why we want to bring it to your attention, because this is how we got wrangled into this in the first place. Because nobody from RBN love them, but they are not good at addressing stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
She obviously.
And I agree with this point. I think JB and Compton J, they're too easy on her. When I brought up the fact that Liv Romano is anti-indigenous, that the fact that she promotes a vegan agenda, which is eugenicist and a Malthusian, you know, they didn't address it. Liv didn't really address it. She kind of skirted around the issue, whatever. She didn't address it fully. She didn't, like, say, yo. She didn't, I apologize to all the people in Alaska who live a subsistence life. Or I apologize, you know what I mean, to people that are anti-Malthusian and people that are omnivores. She didn't, or people that hunt, trap, or fish. She never apologized to that. She didn't apologize. So she didn't apologize to, yeah, she didn't apologize. She doesn't like, Liv Romano doesn't like working class people. Liv Romano doesn't like commercial fishermen. Liv Romano doesn't like trappers or people that are fur dealers. She doesn't like them. And she has slandered them and besmudged them, and Liv Romano is a grifter. She's doing a GoFundMe to feed her dog and cats. She's doing a GoFundMe and then on the side tricking online. Like, that's messed up. You know, during my full time of being unemployed, I have never done a GoFundMe. I have never done a Cash App. I have never done a Venmo. I have never done that. I've never done tricking online. I've never done that.
Obviously was working with RBN. That's why we invited her. And then, sorry. Sorry. Dad, come over here. Come here so they know you're here. Come here.
Yeah, that came up already. Look at he's fixing his hair. Come on, buddy. Look at this. Look. We live with our parents.
We literally.
Put your head down.
Put your head down in there so they can see who you are.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bank sisters' dad. Their parents seem like cool people. I just want to say that first and foremost.
We're talking about this girl. She's talking shit about us.
Well, no, that's not what it is. We're worried that she's stealing money from people. That's
I know, but
Who's stealing money?
girl, we'll tell you at breakfast tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so here's it. Oh, I love him. I'm so happy with it. Like
Yeah,
living with your parents.
I'm
is
honestly
nice.
just.
So, if you see here, Creative Experiments says free rent is great, and it's great that it is acknowledged as an advantage. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a privilege, but we use our many privileges for actually helping
yeah.
the cause.
Honestly, our parents they get mad at us because we don't we don't do other stuff, and we're like, well, we're playing this camp, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and they get very mad.
Yeah,
but we also volunteer at their church, even though we don't go to their church, and like we do
We
other
don't believe in
things,
church
you know?
stuff,
Like
but
it is what it is. But I just we just wouldn't. I just wouldn't ask. I wouldn't say I need $150 for my or $500 for my fur babies and myself. Like this is another thing.
Yeah, they would never do. I believe them. I believe the Bank sisters. They wouldn't ask for a GoFundMe. Ask for $500 for their animals or whatever, their dog and their cats or whatever. They wouldn't do that, you know.
I hate to say it, but white people have a real sense of like you have to feed yourself. Like, I mean.
She said that white people have a real obsession with their pets, with their animals. I believe that's mainly true for Northern Europeans. Southern Europeans, it's a different story. And with each European, it's a different story. But that's true. English people especially. Spanish people is a little more mixed. Italians, Portuguese, it's a little more mixed. They're mixed opinions, you know what I mean? But English, Northern Europeans, English, Irish, Scottish, Germans, definitely true.
But also, okay,
Like,
but also to give
you
you
can't
guys some
ask people for money
context.
to feed your pets. I'm
To
sorry.
give you guys some context. Okay, so I know this is not how you're supposed to do this, but this is the RV that she.
That is a bougie RV. How is that kitchen that big? They have an island in the kitchen. My kitchen's a mess, so I'm not going to show it to you right now. I have to clean it up. But I don't have an island in my kitchen. Okay? You know, I don't have an island in my kitchen. If you have an island in your kitchen, you are bougie. An island with a sink on it. That is rich people shit. Check it out. Yo, check it out. An island with a fucking kitchen, a sink on it. She has a sink on the island. She probably got 2 kitchen sinks. Like, how do you trick out a RV to make it that bougie?
She lives in. It's brand new.
Hear that? That's brand new. That's a brand new RV. She got an island. Like, how do you make an RV that big? How do you make that looks like a full-on house, bruh. That looks like a full-on house.
Trust me, we know from RVs. It's a brand new RV. Amazing, beautiful. Look at this fucking island in the kitchen. We don't have an island in the
I had no idea. Now, I'm not knowledgeable about RVs. I had no idea RVs actually have kitchens in them. You know, I thought you would bring like a little portable grill and you do, you know, grill the salmon or grill the hamburgers or hot dogs or chicken out on a little grill. Or I know RVs, some RVs, I didn't even know. I thought you had to put stuff in a cooler. I thought like RVs were like campers and shit. Like, again, what do I know?
Kitchen. But this is the thing. When she's talking about this, it says it's finally here. Today we're moving into our new permanent home. I always thought that this was like I didn't know that there were conversations that had been.
When Liv said our, she meant her dog, and her cats. That's what she said. She didn't mean her dad, her mom, her siblings, cousins, uncles, aunties. She didn't mean that. She meant her dog, and her cats. That's what she meant by our.
Going on about her use of mutual aid. No, I thought it was a little bit weird, but I thought, okay, well, if it's a permanent home for her whole family, that
you thought something very different.
Well, because that kind of does make more sense than us giving her money to go to a hotel or something every night, right?
I knew right away that our meant her pets.
I did not.
Our means her dog and her cats. Her dog's name is Zulu or some shit like that, and her cats, I don't even remember her cats' names. But her dog, yeah, that's, by our, she means her dog and her cats.
No, I thought that our meant her dad, her family. No, her father bought her this brand new RV. She did not.
You hear that? Her dad bought her that RV. She didn't buy it herself. Her dad bought it for her.
Not make an announcement. There's nothing in this announcement that says my dad bought this.
Yo, her dad bought her the RV.
I could not be happier or more excited to start this new chapter of our lives. Thank all of y'all for all your wicked.
Notice how she say y'all and tries to be woke about that shit.
Generosity and support.
Wicked generosity, guy, because she's from Massachusetts. Like, notice how she tried to act like working class, saying wicked and shit. Because that's how, like, I spent a year in Massachusetts. I got shipped off to boarding school. That's how Massachusetts people talk.
There were fundraisers for her.
Because there was a GoFundMe up for her. She wanted to get a schoolie. Who doesn't want a schoolie? Okay.
First of all, I don't want a schoolie. I want a nice ass condo. You know, I want a nice ass condo. No, I don't want a schoolie. But she did hella fundraisers for a schoolie. She was scheming on people the entire time. So, and then her dad turns around and buys her an RV. That shit's hella shady. And Creative Experiment says RVs cost as much to maintain as regular apartment, and they're expensive as hell. I believe it. They're hella spendy. And the purple circle says that RV looks better than any place I have ever lived. That's a bougie ass RV. That RV is hella bougie.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Okay, so
That was your freaking interior design. You think I want to have a fucking tricked out school bus? Of course I do. But guess what? I don't.
Well, see, that's you. You did interior design. I did no degree. So I don't want a tricked out schoolie. I want a nice ass condo, okay? I want a nice condo that's conveniently located. So there you go.
Well,
Like,
let's
I mean,
break
I just
this
think-
down. Okay,
I
now
mean,
we're gonna have to.
She had a
listen, Liv.
GoFundMe up for a schoolie so she could have permanent housing. And the thing is, once you get an RV like that you were
A
just shown,
$55,000 brand new RV.
should you not then take down your GoFundMe for the RV? Okay, and
Facts. If you got the RV, you should take your GoFundMe down. That's kind of shady that she left it up.
this is a good question, Creative Experiments, about the RV costing $1K a month to maintain.
Yo, RVs, Creative Experiment says RVs cost at least $1,000 per month, $1K bucks per month to maintain.
Because as she corrected us in her live stream, She does not live in her dad's backyard.
We thought that she lived in her parents' backyard.
But we were wrong.
Oh, we gave her too much leeway.
Too much. She lives in a trailer park, which...
She does not live in a trailer park. She lives in a campground, an RV campground. You know, like the one over by Centennial Park? Like over in Muldoon, you know how there's like the freeway, the Glen Highway, and there's Centennial Park? Like the one over there. That's the type of situation that Liv Romano has. She lives in like in one of those type of RV parks, like over by Centennial. Over like by Centennial Park. You know how like there's a little campground there? Like one of those, not like a legit trailer park like Diamond Estates, Riviera Terrace, or whatever the one in over by 36th is in Spinard. She doesn't live in one of those types. She lives in like a campground, like the one over by Centennial Park. That's where she lives.
No, she lives in an RV park. She lives in an RV park. Okay, she doesn't live in a double wide. She's trying to act like she's living in.
Yeah, that's fugazi, and it's kind of weird how she's acting like she lives in a trailer park. Like, you know, I know hella people that live in trailer parks. You know, and lives in a RV campground, not a trailer park. So there you go.
She's living this fucking life. No. Did you try OfferUp first to see if someone nearby is selling it for less?
Try OfferUp first and save up to a lot.
No. People down the street from us live in fucking double wides. No, that's not what's fucking happening right now. No. This is a brand new, and you have to remember, the GoFundMe, I will find it, the GoFundMe that she made is, she asked for money for the RV. I remember her asking for that. And she asked for money for the schoolie, right? Because she said that she was going to go around the country to do mutual aid. And I mean, the thing that we've learned, so all the people that were organizing this camp with knew this chick, and they tried to help her. They were at her arraignment when she got arrested.
We didn't know any of this.
We didn't know any of this.
And actually, so what else does it says? And Reefer After Dark says, wasn't there a GoFundMe about a trip to Africa too? And they're going to get to that. But Quaker Anarchist said, I stand with the Bank sisters. I was part of the active response to Liv at her arrest in the Twitter spaces early on multiple times about appropriate mutual detail donated $100 to the arrest response. Talked with Liv early on about about appropriate mutual aid and more. During our response for her arrest, I was actively engaged. I also stayed in the spaces. My concern for the multiple errors Liv made after she went to training on actions, go with people and more, publicizing her trip, bringing a bat without any protest approval more. I called out that entire arrest was very suspicious because she was far from the protest. More worries at the time. More concerns after. I distanced myself from her because she was not learning what people were educating her on as critical to our community. Mutual aid is not what she does. She was constantly changing what she was doing. I want my $100 back. Okay. Optimism of the Will says, wow, I knew nothing of this beyond knowing that Liv was arrested with the bat some time ago. Story disappeared, and I never thought about it again. Much as I hate left drama, and I think both of you do as well, I think this must be followed up upon. I will be looking at her stream and appearance on Placone, but my guts tell me to trust the sisters. I respect your commentary and see other folk I respect from the chats backing you up, and always thought the bad incident smelled funny. My heart goes out to Keisha and Court for doing so much work and getting this BS in return. Okay? Playards and politics to my bank sister comrades. I understand there's some degree a need on the to expand on specification of your domestic situation, but it's simultaneously disheartening to watch you two defend your position over such trivial shit, i.e. unemployment status. I'm so grateful to have met the two of you. I'm grateful that the two of you have a support system that you have. And Savage Joy Marine Man says, I'm a narcissist, but she does 2-hour streams about herself. Damn. NJI says, whoa, I did not know all this had happened. I thought this live was perhaps about backlash from Matt Walsh. What is a woman live you did? Most honestly, my antennas were going up about her since the arrest happened, so it's refreshing when my suspicions are confirmed. As someone who is actually South African, it is incredibly offensive, short-sighted, and ignorant of her as an activist to do the whole clinic in Africa shtick. It's very white Western savior complex. I hate when Americans do that, as they always come with their own, they want ideologies and insert themselves into African spaces with Western ideas and perspectives of how help, not asking or knowing what communities actually want or need. I reiterate this. Africa as a continent is not poor or in need of the West. We have our own resources, practices of medicine, and ways of life, and would be much better for it if Westerners left Africa alone as a whole. That's not to say trade and intercontinental and cultural connections are not welcome and enjoyable, but we do not need anyone to save us. Thank you for bringing this to light. Others may think this as just drama, but having an NGO background myself, I know this is needed to weed out opportunists and create strong, lasting camaraderie and grassroots connections, and real grassroots connections. Congrats on Camp Dada, on the Camp Dada initiative. I know it will be a success and hope to perhaps join you all on one. Please keep us informed on the progress of the things, and I do hope some of the smiley face, of the future of Camp Dada's experience will be filmed for us to see how it all went. Many thanks and continued strength to you two wonderful sisters. Stalin is daddy said the poor working class community she stole from has always been calling her out for scamming and trying to hold her accountable for a long time, but she somehow always managed to weasel her way out of any of the accountability. At one point, she sent up simultaneous GoFundMes for a brand new schoolie to travel around the country and do mutual aid in, travel costs to go home to Africa, in quotes, and build a clinic, and for a trip to the UK to cover the Julian Assange trial for RBN. That's not even including the endless tweets posting her Cash App Venmo asking for mutual aid for herself. Then Daddy bought her a new luxury RV and she bragged about getting over $10,000 from unemployment. Still never occurred to her, oh, I don't know, maybe give people their money back. Disgusting that they were only taken down last month. Damn. And Smell the Inside of Your Nose, Do It Right Now said, the thing of revealing details and parallel organizing alongside your event is a total op. Damn. Yeah. And then Luke Kang says, sorry you had to experience this nonsense, my G. Sounds like an op to me. The two dudes you mentioned seemed sketch to me from the moment I was introduced to their content. The one sounds like a Muppet especially. Facts. Yeah, she is sketch. Liv is sketch, guys.
And the one girl that we're working with, she knows a lot about schoolies. And she was saying to her, she was like, you shouldn't be putting up a GoFundMe for a schoolie. It's really actually like kind of you do the lowest, bare minimum cost just to get the bare minimum stuff outfitted. Then you use the community to help you kind of like outfit it. And she said, oh, Liv was not interested in that. She wanted a brand new.
Yeah, I don't know a thing about schoolies, so I can't really comment on that. I only mainly know about houses. I don't know much about houses either. I just know about apartments mainly. But I do know a little bit about houses.
Tricked out schoolie.
So we have a lot. I just feel like we have a lot of like first-person accounts on this. It's just that literally no one wants to talk about it. Like
it's worse than that. Okay, here's the one for the schoolie. There's that one. She's taken these down, right? These are GoFundMes.
Liv and her 3 animals, her dog and her 2 cats.
We have a treehouse too. Well, Court didn't have it, but I did, and we also extension cord.
I had a tree house that was in the shape of a boat growing up. Actually, I had 2 tree houses. One at my mom's house, one at my grandpa's house. And the one at my mom's house was in a shape of a boat. Never slept out there because, you know, where I grew up at, there's bears, lynx, coyotes. We've never had a wolf, but on the other side of town in, like, Eagle River, they have seen wolves out there, and actually, I think up in the Chugach they see wolverines, but the only wolverines I've seen are at the fur shop and on my parka. But no, I definitely had a treehouse growing up, but I did not sleep out there because of the moose, the bears, the coyotes, the lynx. So yeah, I never slept out there.
Stole all the power. I mean, whatever. We had to live our lives. This is the other GoFundMe that she had up simultaneously.
Right. So this is
The clinic in Africa. That sounds like some NGO, like imperialist, you know what I mean, white savior type of shit.
Trip to Africa.
Well,
because she said she was going to start a clinic in Africa.
For $5,000? Can you start a clinic for $5,000?
Did she have any kind of qualifications to start a clinic in Africa? There's literally an article she got written about it. It didn't say that she had any connections in Africa. It didn't say that she had any like bases to go off of.
Right, like
nothing.
You're starting a clinic, just you, and $5,000? I don't think so. Africa is not fucking that cheap. I tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. There's some spendy places in Africa. Africa is not cheap. There's and she didn't even where's KZN anyway? Like, she didn't even maybe like that South Africa, like Zululand, I guess. That's probably why she named her dog Zulu. I don't know. I'm just piecing things together as I go.
To start a clinic, like I used to be on the board of an architecture nonprofit, and we designed clinics and we designed things like this. Like, I mean, this is not.
And here she is. We meet every week. Every fucking week. And she's trying to fuck up our fucking camp. Like, this is, I'm sorry, but this is very personal to me.
Jess Tiss says, holy shit, that looks like a 6-figure RV. Hard to say how much because I can't see the size, but wow, that's a house. That's what I'm saying. The inside of that shit looked like a house. Saul Good says, I have a nonprofit and you refund money if anything changes. Liv should have refunded the money. So yeah, there you go.
And it's that she's taking money from people who don't have money.
Exactly.
She doesn't need this money.
If she was stealing money from conservatives, we wouldn't care.
No, that would be.
If she was stealing money from wealthy people, I wouldn't care. If she wasn't a Malthusian vegan eugenicist, I wouldn't care. But that's two of the benchmarks. She's scheming off of poor people, working class people, and she's a vegan, Malthusian, eugenicist racist.
Be a good thing. That would be a good thing.
I just feel like she's stealing money and it's not shit.
And if you look at her history, her Twitter history, and her receipts from mutual aid, she really ramped them up recently. I wonder why that is. If you go back, hardly any. I don't know how she got this reputation for doing mutual aid.
The fact that she has that reputation for doing mutual aid, that's based off of freaking populist voice. And I'm putting some blame on Compton J for giving her a platform in the first place. That's first and foremost. Second of all, I'm putting blame on the other people at Populist Voice for continuing to have a platform. But, you know, Populist Voice, they're a bunch of they're not, I wouldn't say they're rookies, but they do have some Fed-like tendencies. And I'm going to do a whole nother video about that. And I'll do another video exposing her bad foreign policy. Yeah, so we'll get into that. But here we go. Let's get back to what the Bang sisters are saying.
So if you watch her live stream, she never taps down on a date that she actually started the GoFundMes. And something that we want you guys to keep in mind is that
Soy el de Ávila.
Soy la hermana Palma Reyes, soy la hermana Ábalos Latín y somos los misioneros.
Venimos.
she was called out twice on Twitter. And she really tries to make this about Josana, which is a huge problem for us. Josana is a sweet, beautiful, giving human being. And the people, like, they were talking about all these Twitter spaces and all this stuff, because obviously...
So Creative Experiment says an RV is is probably the most expensive thing you can get when you're homeless. You could have gotten your unemployment check instead. Big facts. Liv could have got her unemployment check instead, but she went and got an RV. So there you go. So that's how you know she got that rich kid mentality.
Sato, that's we don't know this person, but she talked about it.
But we have heard of this person through someone who's organizing with us. So
Yeah.
we knew about this Twitter space interaction.
They called her out about the way she was misusing and saying mutual aid, and they all got these people to turn against them. I mean, they were talking about Josana's mother who passed away, going after.
That's foul. Besmudging and talking shit about Josana's mom who just passed, that shit is foul. That shit is foul. That's dirty. Josana, look, I don't personally know Josana, but from what I know, Josana's a cool person. You know? But that shit is foul. Going after Josana's mom who recently passed.
So yes, we are going to protect the people we're organizing with and say you are not allowed to come. And the fact that she's not mature enough, if she were actually sorry, she would take that in.
She would say, you know what can I do?
Wow, I brought it.
I don't think it's immaturity. I just think that Liv Romano's a grifter. Liv Romano's a Fed. Liv Romano is a vegan, Malthusian eugenicist. That's what I think it is. I think Liv Romano just has too many ruling class interests and doesn't have any morality.
I brought it back to something. I made people think they are not safe around me. Maybe I should take a step back for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she could have supported in many other ways. She never, as I just showed you guys, never contacted me again. She never said, hey, is there a way I could talk to your group just to make them feel comfortable or see what I could do to make them feel
Help out
comfortable?
in the background or anything.
Tons of people have contacted us saying, hey, I can't come, but I would love to support. How can I help you from here? She could have said that.
Yeah.
No, she's making it about herself. Please notice this. Please notice this. And let's go back to this, because this is a key point, and this is why I think she's dangerous. As I pointed out, she was wearing a In the Damn War shirt. And
Yo, this chick, so Allie says, lol, this chick was telling people to donate money so she could take a trip to Belmarsh to free Assange 3 days before she wanted to hop on a plane to get there. Again, good point. And I remember that. And we can go on Populist Voice Network's page and pull up all those receipts. Exactly, yo. Like, she is sketch. Back to the Bank Sisters.
in her live stream, she conveniently never talks about any kind of involvement with these people, right?
So let's show you the receipts we have from the Daily Mail. That's Liv right there. Look what she's wearing, and the damn war shirt. She's not even involved with the organization. That's Liv right there. After she bit the cop with the covering on her head. That's her right there. They're taking her, probably putting her on an ambulance. That's the bat. That's the bat with the New York Yankees logo that they took away. It's kind of weird that she was born in Liv Romano was born in Massachusetts, but she has a Yankees bat. A New York, doesn't that seem kind of weird, you know? That she has a New York Yankees bat, but she's from Massachusetts. You'd think she'd have one with the Red Sox logo on it. I just like to point that out. You know, maybe she got it because her dad's a Fed. Maybe her dad knows A-Rod. I don't know.
But as you can see in the picture, I mean, that's the shirt that she's wearing. She's in the shirt.
I guess I didn't know that the shirt was also related to an org, and if it is, that's...
Yo, let's check out the organization. And I don't know if it's an org or not. I know it's a hashtag. Oh, I guess they have a Facebook page. And the Damn War is a post-partisan movement that was created in response to the upcoming 20th anniversary of the 9/11 and the subsequent war on terror. Oh, I guess it's a Facebook page, so it actually is an org. They have groups in Colorado and DC.
You want to be sure you're with that org.
She's not even with the organization. That's the crazy part.
Like this, so let me tell you this, and let me tell you why this is dangerous. When we started publicly telling her, back down, we know that you were lying, we are not okay with the way you treated the funds, we're not okay with you bringing them back. Multiple people from many different orgs, Green Party people, people from a podcast she was involved with, and some anti-war people contacted her. And what the anti-war people, all separately, all separate messages. So when she says, when she's reading her little thing about, what she said to Brian Falcone, if other people contacted Ron Falcone, we did not. We decided as a group.
And actually, hella people were writing in the comments section on Ron Falcone's video about, about how sketchy Liv was. And what is Reefer After Dark says, Magnus is aight. Weird, but End the Damn Wars is aight. Misty has done stuff with them a few times. So that's the Boogaloo guy, Magnus, the one that Jimmy Dore interviewed. So that's what Reefer After Dark's talking about.
First of all, Courtney literally wrote a very detailed, perfect response that she was like, should I put a comment under Ron Falcone's thing? And she wrote this whole thing and explained the whole thing. And then we talked to our group and we said, no, we're not going to. We're not going to engage with this.
That's a damn shame. You should have actually done that comment. John Austin says, that's some Sean King level grift. Dude, I agree with that 100%. The Purple Circle says, Africa, LOL. Liv Doja 831 says, I live in a trailer park, 6 foot by 7 foot living room, large in that RV. I agree. I didn't even notice that.
Ron Falcone threw Savvy Sabs, and that's what happened, so we let them do it. We were not the ones who contacted them. So that means other people contacted Ron Falcone to say, hey, this chick is not what she seems.
That chick is hella sketchy.
In the interview. But anyways, what the people in the anti-war movement told me is that she tried to suggest that they do some sort of an insurrection type of a thing. And they felt like she was trying to set them up. And then
that story seems plausible. That story seems corroborated by the evidence. Here's our evidence. She was trying to set them up. She was trying to get them arrested, yo. Climate activist. She wasn't even a climate activist, bruh. She wasn't even with any type of organization. Climate activist swinging a baseball bat and screaming defund the police is arrested outside the Capitol for attacking and biting a cop during protests that have swarmed D.C. for a week. 25-year-old Olivia Romano. That's Liv Romano. There she is. People don't want a Fed working for them. That's probably why she can't get a job. There she is. Yo, this is your evidence, bro. Like, she got hella receipts on her.
They try to distance themselves from her. And then she wears the shirt anyways.
Right.
Bringing it back to a protest.
To be photographed, to be yelling out her Twitter name while she's being arrested.
What's that about?
Wait, she yelled out her Twitter name while she was arrested? I think she's a clout chaser and a Fed. And she was trying to get other people arrested. She was trying to get End the Damn Wars arrested.
I know that. And I don't want, and this is the thing, she's the type of person who would sue us or something, you know what I'm saying?
Reefer After Dark says, I also heard her pops was NSA. Well, that makes sense. She's a Fed. Her dad's literally NSA, bruh.
I don't want to say who her dad works for. Listen, I will be completely...
Look, I'm going to say it. Look. Reefer After Dark says, I heard her dad was NSA. Her mom's Pentagon, her dad's NSA. Sketchy. Hella sketchy.
Her mom works for the Pentagon. I think she might be a robot all the time. I don't trust her. Okay.
Oh, wait. Does the Bank sisters' mom work for the Pentagon? Now I'm confused. Let's back that up like 2 seconds.
And you can see that easily in the interview. But anyways, what the people in the anti-war movement told me is that she tried to suggest that they do some sort of an insurrection type of a thing. And they felt like she was trying.
And this shit's in the wake of January 6th, so you know there's going to be heightened security in D.C. There's going to be more cops there. There's going to be, you know what I mean? You know, more feds out there. So you know you got to be on the watch if you're an organizer doing a protest. Because this is, look, the police state in America is expanding, you know? Frickin', what's it called? Safeway is turning into Walmart. That's how much the police state, the ruling class is expanding the police state. So if you're an organizer, you have to be careful about this kind of situation. So
Trying to set them up. And then they try to distance themselves from her. And then she wears the shirt anyways.
Right.
Bringing it back to a protest.
To be photographed, to be yelling out her Twitter name while she's being arrested.
What's that about?
I don't know, guys.
And I don't want, and this is the thing, she's the type of person who would sue us or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say who her dad works for.
And I'll say it again. Her dad works for the NSA. Reefer After Dark says, I also heard her pops works for the NSA. Her dad...
Listen, I will be completely honest. Our mom worked for the Pentagon.
So the Bank sister's mom worked for the Pentagon, and they don't trust their mom.
I think she might be a robot all the time. I don't trust her. Okay? But we're at least...
The Bank sisters, yeah. So they know that type of shit with the feds, because their mom worked for the Pentagon. So, you know, Liv Romano's dad works for the NSA. Kind of sketchy there.
Working for, like, trying to progress, and all I see is this person cutting us down, and her... Thank you, okay. I'm not saying it,
We
but...
didn't say it.
Peep that shit, yo. I also heard her pops was NSA, said Reefer After Dark. Yo, her pops is probably wiretapping hella people right now, you know what I mean? I bet you her pops has wiretapped me. I wouldn't be surprised. But Liv Romano's dad's NSA, bruh. NSA, her dad's a Fed. Liv Romano's a Fed. I don't like feds. Why do you think I distanced myself from my cousin Dylan? Because he's aiding and abetting these Ukrainian Nazis. You know what I mean? And his chick, his girlfriend, the chick he's with, she's a Fed too. I probably went to school with his girlfriend's sister, because there was this Ukrainian chick I went to Portland State with called Victoria. And Victoria was like this kind of sketchy, conservative type. It would make sense that that family named both their daughters with V names, Valeria and Victoria. And that's Victoria's older sister that Dylan's with. See, I'm good at putting two to two together. So Dylan's future sister, my cousin Dylan's future sister-in-law, who went to Portland State with me, is like a Fed. A Nazi-sympathizing Fed that's a Ukrainian. Like, you can't make this shit up. Like, Liv Romano's the same way. Like, there's hella Feds out there. Liv Romano's dad is NSA. Liv Romano's a Fed. Okay, she's a Fed. It's clear that she's a Fed. Her dad's a Fed. Her stepmom is probably a Fed.
Why did she wear this shirt of a group? Right.
That's exactly her dad's NSA. She's a Fed. That's why she wore this shirt. Let's peep the shirt again, yo. See, end the damn wars. Look, she's screaming in that picture. Look at that. Yelling out her Twitter name and shit as she's on the stretcher. There she is. End the damn wars. Sketch.
Said no. And I'm telling you, behind the scenes, I have received messages that she tried to...
People just don't want to... People honestly just don't want to talk.
She was yelling her... The purple circle said she was yelling her Twitter handle while being arrested. And the pictures confirm that.
They don't want to come out about it. They don't want to talk about it.
They said they were scared.
And I will say this: if you
Well, I'm not scared to talk about it. I'll talk about it all the time. Liv Romano's a Fed. Her dad's NSA. So there you go. Look, my great uncle worked for the IMF. You know, I don't trust people from DC, yo. I don't trust anybody in DC. You know what I mean? So there you go.
watched Liv's live stream, then you heard her say, that she should have done more research about the bat and like whether or not she should.
Research, bruh. This shit's common sense. This shit is common sense. You show up to a protest with the bat. After talking to an organization proposing some kind of sketchy type of shit, the organization distances themselves from you. You show up anyway and get arrested. That's just common sense. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Should have brought a bat, and she will
Yes,
say.
she yelled her Twitter name while she was being arrested.
Yes, she did.
Multiple times.
Yes,
Smelled
multiple
it out. Yeah.
And she will, and during during her thing, she said, she should have done more research and she should have thought it through more and da-da-da-da. I will tell you this. I myself.
Allie says, "Law, you don't even have to look at her parents, Law. She's a grifter through and through. How are you going to ask people to send you money for a last-minute trip to London in 3 days?" Facts. That's big league facts. Big league facts.
Have bipolar 2. And when I do something wrong to someone, I have
Allie says, "To free Assange, LMFAO. The grit runs deep."
to say, look, I might not remember it because I might have been in a manic state or whatever. I don't, but either way, it happened to you. You see what I'm saying? So it's my fault either way.
Right.
And I had to deal with the repercussions of that.
Right.
However long it takes for you to get over it, it's unfortunate, it's sad, it is what it is. It's just, you have to own up to and deal with the consequences of whatever it was that happened. And especially we're trying to build a fucking community. You see, we're trying to be socialists and communists and all this, and you can't even get to a point where you can get someone apologize to someone.
She's never tried to apologize. She's never tried to apologize. The apology
She's never apologized for anything.
that she claims that she did was an apology to. She wrote an apology on. Okay, first of all, also, this is the thing.
She apologized to another person.
We tried to let her down gently and say, listen, you brought it
Because
back.
we could have said all of the things that we heard, but we didn't. We said, you know what? Let's keep this diplomatic.
Shit, I'm going to say all the things I heard. Liv Romano's a Fed. Liv Romano's a scam artist. Liv Romano's a eugenicist. Liv Romano's a Malthusian. Liv Romano's a racist. Liv Romano's a clown. I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it as it is. There you go.
And let's just say it's just about the bat and that's it.
We didn't, because also she had gone to court that day too.
Right, we don't want to upset
And
her.
we were not trying to upset her at all. We're not trying to be bitches in any
We
way at all.
really thought this through, which is why it's so upsetting.
I literally was on her side. I was on her support, all that stuff before she left. And then once they told me this, and you guys, I make people prove their shit. I do not just want to throw people under the bus. But they were at her arraignment. They were there.
They were supporting her.
When we picked her up from the jail, the other protesters were like, oh, okay, so where did you get arrested? And they were like, she was acting really weird. She couldn't answer the questions. Why was she wearing this in the war shirt if they said they didn't to a climate? Why?
Right,
And then taking a bat,
That's weird. To end the worst shirt to a climate protest. I mean, it is kind of connected, but the organization had distanced itself. The organization had distanced itself from her. They didn't want to have nothing to do with her because they knew she was a Fed. They knew she was a Fed. They knew her dad was NSA. They knew she was a Fed, so they distanced herself from her. She showed up anyway with the bat wearing the shirt of that organization. She's a Fed. Yo, she's a Fed. Liv Romano's a Fed. That's Fed behavior, bruh. That is Fed behavior. She's a Fed. She's for sure a Fed.
you're gonna
When
get
did
in
you
trouble.
ever bring a bat to a protest?
You bring a snack.
No,
Yeah, exactly. You bring frickin' a snack and a water bottle to a protest. Cell phone, snack, water bottle. You know? It's cold outside. Winter gear. Winter gear. Snack, water bottle. If it's summer outside, sunscreen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never, like, it's common sense, yo. Snack, water bottle, and whatever the weather dictates. If it's raining, Grundens, umbrella, you know? Extra toughs, you know what I mean?
I think, okay, look, I'm going to take it even a step further. As a white woman, your presence alone is enough to thwart the police.
Right.
So as
They'll
a white
stop if you
woman,
just get in
if
front
you
of
put your
somebody.
body, exactly. If you just put your body in front of them, they'll stop. So that was a breach of
Good point. Like, you're a European, you're white, you know what I mean? Your presence alone is enough to detract the cops, you know what I mean? If you're standing in solidarity with black people, native people, Pacific Islander people, your presence alone as a white person is enough to thwart the cops. Bringing a bat was unnecessary. And, you know, she got arrested. She's probably a Fed. Her dad's NSA. Look, I'll be a broken record all day, you know what I mean? But that's the facts, you know what I mean?
And as I said, if she was having a manic episode or what have you, that's fine. But you have to, the people who experienced it still experienced it even though you weren't in your right mind. And I'm saying that as a person who's diagnosed.
This is not any judgment about any of that. And she just keeps using all these strawman arguments that we would never judge people on. Like, that's just not what it is. And
Exactly. Mental health is not an excuse to bring a bat to the protest. It's not. You know what I mean? So there you go.
she's never tried to talk to us or anything like that. We tried to let her down easy.
She hasn't
And I
reached
told her, I reached out to her in many messages after that. And I was like, I don't understand why you did this. Like, you didn't even try to
And
talk to us.
Josiah was even like, at first she was like, no, I don't want to talk to her. And then she was like, well, maybe I would talk to her. I mean, that was a stretch.
Once
So-
I had heard, you guys have to understand, like,
So Creative Experiment says, I do have to say, there aren't enough interviews with Native people. I bet you she means the Native people that were organizing the rally. You know, I agree. They should have. The Bang sisters should have interviewed the Native people that organized the rally.
they helped her with her bail and shit. Right, and then
So
she,
that's
like,
another.
The organizers helped her with her bail. I didn't give her any kind of money, won't give her any kind of money, but if I was one of those organizers and I knew she was a Fed, I would not help her with any type of bail. I would not help her with any type of bail if I was an organizer. Yo, that's wild.
Thing. Like, you're, again, drifting from this very small pool of people who are very, like, it's just not right. I don't know what else to say. Like,
but did she think that they weren't all gonna, like, tell the truth? That's what I don't understand. That's
well,
so crazy.
but maybe she did think they weren't all going to tell
Nobody
the truth,
else
because
has.
it seems that everyone is so afraid to talk about it. So maybe she did think
It's
that.
true. Everybody's so afraid to talk about it. I'm telling you guys, like, multiple people from all these places have
Multiple.
contacted me, and I think, like, this is just my conjecture, but
Doja 831 says, right on the money, using white folk as a barrier for a protest, cops will think twice. I agree.
like, the Maryland Green, she's a Maryland Green, but they have to have 2 co-chairs in order to, like, be an official thing, and she's one of them, and I
Didn't she run for state house? Let me see. She's on Antifa watch. The fuck? She's tricking. She's tricking online too. Didn't she run for state house or something? Yo, she ran for Maryland State House. That's Liv. 2018, she ran for the Maryland House of Delegates. And she got 7th place. She ran for 3 seats. Or no, 7 running for 3 seats. She ran for the Maryland House of Delegates in 2018. Because I knew I seen something about that. Liv Romano, 2018 Maryland House of Delegates.
I just feel like that's a source of power that she holds on to. She can't. That's just a thought in my mind. It's not true. I don't know anything about it. But it does seem like she's weaseling her way into certain, like, she weaseled her way into RBN, even though she couldn't contribute anything. And, like,
the timing is
and that's something else I want to clear up. Please be aware, grifters do this, manipulative people do this, but Afeni, she's organizing with us, Savvy, all these people. Afeni literally, like, cursed her out on a thread. It was like, you are not doing mutual aid. We need to stop. We need to fucking delete this shit. And
Good on Afeni.
just stop. And like a psychopath. Like, she was trying to be nice or like calm down this drama, but really was to save her own face. She deleted this main tweet that she had originally made. Then she goes on retweeting things from Afeni, retweeting things from RBN.
Okay, that was
and then it makes it look like there's
no
no
problem.
issue.
And when you brought
What
that
a
up,
psychopath.
I had not see. I wasn't tracking it like that, and that is
Dude,
crazy.
she does it all the time.
Yeah.
She does it.
Okay, Doja 831. I wouldn't say Afeni's the GOAT. She's smart, but I wouldn't say she's the GOAT. So there you go.
Because
She
then
is
it
not
seems
talking
like-
to any of the people at RBN. Please do not let.
No.
Please. But I did.
Because
Okay,
that's how we were duped. Because we thought, oh, she's with RBN, everything's
it
cool.
must be cool. And let me tell you this: I had some words with CJ and with Nick, and neither of them were responsive.
Honestly, very like you really.
I think CJ is kind of providing her cover because they worked at Populist Voice. And I think Populist Voice might be feds. They're the way they promote crypto imperialism, the way that Andrew, radical pragmatist,